You're welcome back. Time for Joy News Interactive, and Aisha is here with all that's going to happen. Aisha, interesting. We have similar styles today.
That's what I was about to say.
Great minds think alike.
You know, but you're looking good in your...
Same as you, my dear.
Well, right. So you know how to get interactive. It's on facebook.com/Joy News on TV. On Twitter is on Joy News on TV. Now, the minority in Parliament have boycotted the approval of Gender Minister nominee Otiko Djaba after a rather fiercely debate on the floor of Parliament today. Thus, the minority explained has become necessary due to Madam Otiko's inability to undertake the mandatory national service after tertiary education in Ghana. Now, the minority side walked out of the floor of Parliament, leaving only its 10 members of the Appointments Committee on the floor as a way of registering their protest. There are divided opinions about this. Question I ask, do you think it is fair for her to be refused approval on the basis that she did not undertake national service?
Ordinary Ghanaian is taking it and working for the nation. So if you're a minister, that's what you can do. That's what the nation thinks you can do. And so you also give out the rest to government. If you are a teacher, you are a nurse, whatever, and you are doing your service, you are still a worker. But only that you are giving a service to the nation generously. So you are taking allowance for it. If somebody should take it, then everybody else is qualified to take allowance.
So I think she should be given the chance to explain why she wasn't able to do the national service even after returning to Ghana, you know, since it's something that's supposed to be done as a graduate. Yeah, so, however, she should be given the opportunity to serve if she's qualified.
Yeah, national service is really important. It's mandatory. From what I know, I think it's mandatory. So to be denied as a minister, that I'm not so sure about. I don't know how the rules go about in taking these ministers and all that. I don't know if you have to make sure that you do your national service first, though. But let's see how it goes. But I know national service is mandatory.
The laws, that is what the law said. Before you can be given appointment on any public, you must do your national service. So if you don't do even employment, you cannot be given employment. So how much more a minister? We are here to set a record that yeah, this is what the law says. You are being a minister if you don't follow the rule. So how do you expect the other layman to go by the rule?
For me, it's irrelevant. It doesn't really make sense whether if yes she is capable. If she's capable of, I mean, the duty she's assigned to. If she's capable of, I mean, doing it, yes, of course. What is this? What is national service? So because of national service, if she can really help effectively in developing the nation or the goals of the president, because of the national service, they should sideline her. It doesn't really make sense.
All right, so those are some comments from the streets of Accra. I'm tempted to ask you what you make of all of this.
Well, I mean, it's a two-edged sword. The majority now is arguing that, you know, it's not a criteria. The Constitution doesn't say that you need to do national service in order to become a minister. Yeah. But then also, let's look at the rationale of national service. Yeah. You see, it's to encourage young people to you know,
develop the love of serving their nation.
Exactly. And so, I mean, it's a two-edged sword, I think. It's difficult.
But let's check what's on Facebook.
Exactly. And Christian Obeng Mensah says, it's sheer pettiness and witchcraft on the part of the minority. Oh, really, Christian? Not to approve of Otiko because she did not do national service. The Constitution clearly states the qualification of a prospective minister of state, and it does not contain proof of national service. Why is the minority trying to use an inferior law, that is an act of parliament, to supersede the Constitution? Even Honorable Otibles could become a minister in Ghana. Ernest Donroti Asari says, I was reliably informed that Ogudeto Ablakwa also did not do national service, yet he was approved to be a minister. The minority should give us a break, whether they like it or yes. Otiko Djaba. Prince Nuruddin Baumia writes, refusal to approve the Gender and Social Protection Minister on the basis of national service sounds so whimsical and capricious. Somebody's words. I think the majority should use their powers, period. And Richard Kweku Frimpong Mansour writes, a woman who refused to serve the nation when her services were needed some time back can't have the moral turpitude to report to serve now. As for her arrogant and insulting posture, they ignored because should we decide to toe that line, President Akufo-Addo would not have it easy at all.
Bawa Musa says, what service to the nation is more than fighting for the interests of women and children as a minister? They should give us a break. Nana mean business. We don't have time to waste. Hashtag consensus. Aziz Donla says, Otiko Djaba responses were whimsical, capricious, and degrading. Even thought the majority will have their unlawful way out. The minority won't circumvent their unlawful way, but Ghanaians will do it in 2028. Vocabulary paddy. And self-demand says, not at all. I think they're just playing to the gallery. Otiko is about 50 years. How old was she when she completed school? And her ladyship Nana Sewa Ampafo says, Masa, she did not insult the man. She only criticized and described him. Why do Ghanaians always find it difficult to face fact? If you defend yourself, they say you are arrogant. If you are overconfident, they say you are arrogant. We can't treat this. And she's showing all right, so issues of sexual harassment are not much talked about, but unfortunately they persist in our society. A gender advisor at the Ministry of Gender and Social Protection reveals that stories of sexual harassment are so rampant that schoolgirls in classes as low as grade 4 are being sexually harassed. Share with me your story. Have you ever been sexually harassed or heard any such stories?
Yeah, I've heard of that before. I've heard people are sexually abused because they are seeking for jobs, and then before they give you the job, they have to sleep with you, especially the men. When a lady is looking for a job, they have to sleep with you before they give you the job. But I think it's very bad.
Personally, not really, but then a friend of mine narrated how a boss harassed her at work, the way he was making utterances, and then how he talked to her, and then even at times he would make the attempt of asking her out, but then she would rather refuse rather than going out with the boss.
Well, one was in my SHS. When I was in SHS, I had this guy that was all over me. At first, I chose business, but later I directed to general art. So he was in business, I directed to general art. But yes, still, he was, trying to go for a competition with guys. And then he was telling them that he will have a way to me. So later on, he forced me into his place, but I didn't allow him in. We fought and stuff. And then later, nothing else happened. So many times. Even I've been into acting before, and then with the directors, the PMs, and a whole lot of people who want to sleep with you before giving you a role and all of that. But I saw if God doesn't make you, a superstar, then forget about those who sleep with you.
But it's interesting, Araba, that people are harassed sexually, and some have to, it's either you kowtow to this harassment or you lose your job, or you don't even get one at all. It's interesting, right?
I think you have to take into consideration our culture. A lot of people feel that harassment is seen in other countries as harassment is a compliment in our cultural setting.
Really?
Well, yeah. Go, yes.
Really?
Exactly. Anyway, I'm sure that
Let's see what's happening on Facebook.
Okay, for Aziz Donla UDS writes, the harassment normally comes from the lady's appearance, because if you dress decent and close all the bibs, I don't think you'll be harassed. I disagree with that, Aziz.
I disagree
because, in countries where women are fully clothed, they're also raped. So how do you explain that? Exactly. So Ernest Donroti Asari says, I think the ladies make way for this harassment because of some provocative dresses they wore. If they stop wearing those dresses, we'll also stop harassing them. Aisha, please don't take it personal.
Oh, but you can't harass me because you get some beatings. That one for sure. The Mede Simon says, don't act, not actually, but it should be noted that this act, apart from it being criminal, is also a psychotic, I'm sure he wanted to say psychiatric disorder in severe cases. Prince Nuruddin Baumia says, I heard it, but I can't disclose it on this platform. Let's try to control our emotions. Kwejo Ado says, why is it that whenever sexual harassment is mentioned, it's always men who are offended?
Because
when
women
are the men
usually
going to be victims? Of course, the
victims
of Ghana
are
does
predominantly women.
It does not prescribe punishment for women who seduce men.
Exactly.
Who gets the erection and who penetrates? Of course, it's men. All right. So Nana Kweko says nowadays the ladies sexually harass us through their dressing. So I've experienced some 1,001 time. Okay, so when they harass you, please try to control yourself. Thank you. Also, on a rather sad note, the Black Stars of Ghana lost by 2 goals to their Cameroonian counterparts in Thursday's semi-final match in the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations tournament. As we witness with other international tournaments, there's so much emotion normally attached to every loss in such tournaments. But all of us have been thinking of 1 or 2 reasons why the Black Stars couldn't make it. What, in your opinion, accounted for the loss of the Black Stars in the semi-final match on Thursday?
Yeah, because of the coach. Because the coach, do well. Because the time the Ghana will play, first half they play fine. But the coach is sit down and it be like, he don't care. You see, that this our player, he can play. But he let the player sit down nearly to before he put in. That Asamoah Gyan. But that thing is not good. Like, Asamoah Gyan will play, you put Asamoah Gyan in first position. He played some 30 minutes, he's nice, but you don't do that.
According to, Ghana lost all because of what Razak Rahman did. Because he insulted the Ghanaians. Because Sami Kufuor did the same thing, and then he was sacked from the camp. He talked about the JC. He was sacked, like 3 or 4 players did that. They were sacked. So they have to sack Baba Rahman for the first place. And then the second one, the tactics that the coach play, Avan Grant, the tactics that he play is not good.
Looking at the physique of the players, I could see that the players are not that well equipped to win the match. And secondly, too, I've seen some mistake from the coach too. Yeah, from the selection he made, and also his changes are not good at all. So to me, I think we should, let the coach go so that we will look for another coach who can help the Black Stars, so that by next time we could also win the cup, because it's been long since we won the cup to Ghana here, and it's a very shame to us. Yeah, because when you look at our image in Africa here, all African countries know Ghana to be a football country, but anytime we go to the World Cup, we don't perform well due to the coaches we take, and also some of the players that are not well. We have a lot of players that can play well, but I don't know why they don't take them and take those who are not physically strong to, win the cup for us.
Of course, it was a bitter pill for us to swallow, especially when we had higher hopes for the Black Stars. But of course, all is not lost. Let's check what you've been saying on Facebook.
Richard Kweku Frimpong Manso writes, the politicization by Mustafa Hamid and Isaac Isiama when they met the team, the winning bonuses propaganda, the vile insults on the person of the immediate past sports ministers, and all led to this. I was shocked when I heard Ghanaians jubilate when Cameroon scored. Some players vowed to win the cup for Akufo-Addo and not Ghana. Now they can't even bring the man a calabash. Masresa. Nana Kofi Abuaji says, we did not play as a team. From day one, Dede Ayew has never been with the team on the grounds that he's not fit. Even at West Ham, he only came on as a substitute. Black Stars don't need a cup but bonuses. And Prince Nuruddin Baumia writes, I think the coach and the GFA president can answer this question for us.
And Kweku Kwejo Ado says, I think overconfidence and pride on the part of the players contributed to the loss. But Araba, what do you think about this last match?
I think it's disunity, really. I don't think the players played as well as I've seen them play in the past, or even previous matches. I think that there was some
with you on that, and the fact that they had so many opportunities but lost all of them. They didn't utilize even one of them. It's really was a bizarre. Let's check.
And clearly, the Black Stars are trending. You know, Black Stars, hashtag Black Stars, hashtag Jordan. That's Jordan and you.
And
Razak. Razak is Razak Brahma,
the goalkeeper.
And we all know who he is, the Ghanaian, the Black Stars goalkeeper. Why is he hated so much?
And the I don't think he's hated. I think there is a controversy surrounding what he posted on Facebook and all of that. Let's read the tweets on Razak.
And this is someone's conversation. He says. After the game, a journalist asked, Razak, what happened? You were out of position when they scored. And Razak Brahma said, I saw terrible things. And someone says, Razak Brahma, what can you say about Cameroonian goal? He said, I am not understanding.
And Akwesi says, Ghanaians wailing for Razak Brahma.
They're waiting.
Okay. Hey!
So this is how Ghanaians are waiting for Razak Brahma at the Kotika International Airport.
Goodness, take it easy.
They're trying to put the fear of God into the young.
King David says, okay, these people are also waiting for Razak with these big stones. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry for Razak, but I think you should take it easy on him. And Ebusian Penny says, Muntari blast GFA, Sakam. Razak Brahma insults 2.5 million Ghanaians.
He stays
in the Black Stars. Hashtag Black Stars. When you set bad precedents, it leads to chaos. And those are some Twitter trends. On that note, we end the interactive segment. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. It's a Friday. Don't forget to have fun, because I'm going to do that myself.